All right. So thank you so much for once again, guys, for who are joined across location. So this demo class has been scheduled for the Microsoft Identity Access Management, which is Entra ID. So let me share my screen, then we can talk about a few more things. Hope you can see my screen. Can anyone confirm I can see my screen? Yeah, thank you. Let's begin with my folder structure, which is October. All right. This certification name would be SC-300. Today date is 06/10/2024. The exam certification name is SC-300, which is called, you can say, Microsoft Identity and Access Administrator. Right? This is a demo class we have scheduled. So we would be talking about, yes, I think it started already. Yeah, recording started. Right. So who can learn this course or training? So anyone can learn this, including fresher and also experience. But whoever looking career growth, yes, we'll update you. Okay, Suman. Who are looking for the career growth and changing their job, bringing into the cloud infrastructure, this is for them, this training. So what would be the prerequisites to understand this concept of this course? So at least minimum requirement is we should have some network knowledge, network skill, and the prerequisites would be if who has knowledge on AZ-900 and AZ-104, it would be more better. So these are all Azure Associate, Azure Cloud Administrator, right? And who has knowledge on Active Directory, it's a more benefit for that. They can easy to understand the concept Active Directory on premises. The prerequisites. So what are content? What are we discussing? What are the syllabus we are going to talk about? Discuss. We will be discussing on based on the uh, Microsoft portal, which is updated course content, where if you see this Google, okay, so you can type there SC-300 study guide. You would be redirecting to the Microsoft portal where you see the certification. You are planning for the certification part. It is a $165 for this examination. So the most important, the skill important, we are going to talk about this. Okay, as per the Microsoft recommendation, we will be talking about. So implement and manage user identities, implement authentication and access management, plan and implement workload identities, and plan and implement identities governance. So if you see this overall, the course content would be major concentrate on identities. So what do you mean by identities and how we need to manage it, or what is the benefit of this course? And after completion of this training, how do I plan it? This course is completely, implementing and operate an organization identities. It means any resource you have in organization, any resource we have in organization, we need to make sure validated proper access part. So no matter those resource are Azure application, Azure data, okay, and devices overall, and users. This is the centralized solution for that. Okay, so centralized solution for that. How you are organizing, how you are planning, how you are solution designing your planning for centralized access management. Right, nowadays if you see that all the applications are in cloud, right, and VMs are in a cloud, right, Active Directory are in cloud, and all users and computers or devices are part of the cloud. So we are accessing over the network all the resources, right? But the big challenge is for the access part. So how do we manage it to access in a right manner, which is zero trust? We call it a zero trust, right? So earlier, if you talk about earlier traditional method, right, the access part, what's happening when you provide the access of that administrator access some other one resource access you provided earlier, right? So he will be having for that is in once that access been done for the one user is accessed the resource, automatically has all the resource access, right, by default. But it's a very risk now this scenario, right? You cannot imagine that is an earlier he is a user we have already given and he can have access for all of the resource. It is a risk. But now once access is been provided, okay, every resource must be validated inside when you reach, and you have the access for one enter gate. And again, if other gates you wanted to have access, by default you should have access earlier situation, but now you will not be having that kind of, and every resource you must provide the access or authentication. And overall this course would be accessing for how the authentication, how authorizations happening, right, and overall part of the governance role, right, in this. To begin with this access part and identity access management part, that part is called as a we call as a entra id. So there is a new name of Azure Active Directory. Earlier we were calling for this Azure AD. So now Microsoft has renamed it to that is an entra id. So with the help of this entra id, how we need to organizing and how we need to throughout the life cycle, right, the users, devices, Microsoft Azure resources and applications. So we are responsibilities and ensuring that is in applications and resources should have that is in proper access part. That overall this SC-300 would give you the solution of that identity access management. So it is not it is completely centralized managing. If the user has access earlier and he should not come back and I don't have access for this, right? So that is how you are going to managing. We will be managing and we will be discussing one by one, which is implement and manage user identities, implement authentication and access management, and plan and implement workload identities, and plan and implement identities governance. So in this, we need to understand how secure channel has been happening, how what are the protocol we are using, and how that is in authentication has been happening over the complete, right? If you open that is in portal, so I hope many of you know that is in cloud, which is Azure. The begin before you start this, I recommend that is in most of people should have some knowledge on this AZ-900 or AZ-104, because we are dealing with towards our journey completely on Azure, right? Where you would be able to see this HTTPS portal.azure.com, right? So this is the portal we would be login to, that is in our portal.azure.com, and you're going to log into your credential, your username and password. If you are new to this environment, no problem, but I would help you to that is into explaining basic things for the first two classes, where how do you set up for the entire in Azure, how do you start creating account, uh, just let me give this authentication. Okay, 1 second. If you guys are new to this Azure platform, I would help you to take first three classes for begin with the registration and subscription. You will be getting a free subscription. Okay, free subscription for the 28 days. 28 days 37. 1 second, 370091. So this is a very much mandatory to have a knowledge on this. Once you open the portal.azure.com, you would be able to see this, right? So we are going to deal with all the resources where you see this is in Entra ID, right? Enter Microsoft Entra ID, and this we will be creating a users, we'll be creating a groups, how that is in authentication happening. I was talking about it is in once access has been provided, every resource must have validated. How do we do that? We would be going to have that. Currently, you might have seen that is an experience that we have the multi-factor authentication, right? Multi-factor authentication. We need to manage that, right? We cannot allow them directly to the access, right? And uh, self password reset, right? We have to manage for that is in every end user. If that user has password forgot and he wanted to reset, he should not, you don't want to call to the help desk, but he has all the rights to change the password for himself, right? He can click that is in, you might have seen that is in many of the portal, there will be options for forget password, and when you click on the forget password, it would redirecting to a validation of your some questions, some authentication process would happen, right? It will be asking you some verification and validation, your username, and it would ask you some questions, right? The questions, if it is a match, it will allow you to reset the password, right? That was a self password reset, how you wanted to. So many features are there, we would be going to talk about towards our journey. So must first most important, everyone aware about that is in this Azure portal would have that is in have a free account, so you can start registration with this portal. If you people are know some of them in this forum, it is well and good. If doesn't know that is in you are new to this environment, no worries. So just you can go to that is in Azure um, free account subscription. It is a mandatory, right? It is a very much mandatory. Without this account, we will not be able to fulfill, or we will not be able to complete this course. So all the practical and all the labs are into the this part, right? So you should go with the start with zero, and you would be getting some benefit for that. Your account would be the 28 days, or you can consider 30 days of the activation, and you will be getting for the 55 other services are free always, right? And the overall account would be 12-month activation. Your account would be activate for till 12 month, but after 28 days or 30 days, you can utilize for the promo value. It would give you around $1,200 for the promo value, and within that promo value, you can utilize that resource to do some practical things, right? And if you are not utilizing the practical and you're not utilizing the resource within the 30 days, and after 30 days your account would be expired. So you have to plan accordingly. This is a first most important, very basic level, you know to have ready with this our account, right? For to start this course, and this course is completely, I would say, the career growth, right? Where you are looking for the job change, and where you're looking for the big package, good package, then I would recommend this course with the to has to learn. So it is journey with this, continue with the AZ. It's overall, the cloud administrator, the basically Azure cloud administrator, where you have already know that is an agent 104, right? Well and good. Then you can plan for this SC-300. and this security, identity access management, and one more part called as a AZURE 500, which we say that Azure security. And you should have a knowledge on this plus PowerShell, where I am into this, okay, into the same journey, where I am into, working at the same platform. I am currently working in on a cloud security, okay, cloud security as security consultant, right? I would explain you about myself and my introduction when we actual start is begin, once you guys are registered, and we will be starting for the next week onwards, and we'll take for the all the introduction who are registered, and I will also explain that is in my about myself, and who I am and what kind of experience I have. So uh, overall we can plan it, right? So that is actual main goal to plan it, right? This identity access management, the basic fundamental we would have that is in at least the basic knowledge in Active Directory, on-prem Active Directory. So I hope uh, you have knowledge on that is in basic Active Directory. If you doesn't know that, no worries, I will try to explain you for this, uh, you know the how that Active Directory works and all, right? So what is that Active Directory, how it works here, right? Before you talk about uh, identity access management, anyone know that's on-prem Active Directory? This is the first most important topic should understand everyone. I can say on-prem Active Directory, right? On-prem Active Directory. On-prem Active Directory, some terminology. What are terminology in overall boundary? Anyone has any questions so far what we discussed? You just heard about. What does zero trust? I'll explain you what zero trust, what you mean by this. It's overall identity access management solution, right? So it means you should be planning. What do you mean by zero trust? Okay, just let me answer for zero trust means what. This is what you are going to learn in upcoming classes. Zero trust means what overall in organization point of view, there is an architecture organization point of view, okay, where we are production environment, when we are in a IAM part, right, identity access management team. So organization architecture, how it would be. So we have that is in data, we have in applications, we have in infrastructure, and we have in a network, right? So how we need to manage for in a without any security compliance part, this is centralized. So all these we need to managing the centralized called as a security policy enforcement, I would say, right? Enforcement, this is centralized. With this help of to managing these, right, the end user, it is what identities, TITs, the identities, how is going to accessing here. We should plan for that is in identity provider, right? We need to plan for the identity provider, where which protocol you are going to use, and how you need to be accessing called multi-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, okay, multi-factor authentication, right? And what would be the risk if you are given that is an overall, you can say the risk and uh, compliance compliance state, and you should plan for the monitor, you can say audit and monitor. So the overall this SC-300 to solution for this audit and monitor. So you will be become a strong uh, you know the designation of this, which is one of the booming technology current market currently, that many people are, many resources are needed, this skill set, okay, this skill set, because after the COVID you see this many attack was happening, and many people are lost, loses their access part, and there is very much needed for the centralized access part infrastructure. Hence the Microsoft has, the product called, the Microsoft has implemented the separate access identity access management called SC-300. right? You might have heard about in other IGA kind of, okay, integrate in identity governance access part, IGA, right? And PAM, privilege access management, and you might have heard about Okta, right? And one more you might have heard about SailPoint, right? SailPoint. So these are all a third party of centralized administering all their identity access management. And in that we have a Microsoft product called as SC-300, which is identity access management. But ultimately, no matter which tool and which product you are going to use it, but they has to reach and they has to centralize manage for my on-prem Active Directory as well as my Azure Active Directory, which is Azure Entra ID. So it is completely, we are a solution, right? We are solution and designing part for across thousands of users, 10,000s of users, one organization. Each all the users does not have the same access, all users does not have in the same department. We have to manage, as I said, zero touch trust for the, it is everything is processed automated, right? So when he tried to accessing the user, it would ask you directly for the multi-factor authentication and where it is set up everything. Earlier you see that directly you are going to log in. Nowadays it's a multi-factor. Now first you need to provide your username password. Then it would ask you to the next one is either your authenticator app installed or you would be getting for the some text message. After that is in validated, verified, and you would be able to access it, right? So these are all steps. But overall, to understand very clearly, understand that is in a more deeply, I would recommend that is in people should have that is an on-prem Active Directory knowledge is most important. So that is in on-prem Active Directory. What is this, right? You are creating users, groups, right? In AD. Without AD, you know that is in without Active Directory current situation, and no one will not be able to log in that, right? No one will have any of the organization. You say that without AD, their organization, their infrastructure, their setup would not be work, right? We call as a domain user, right? We call as a domain user. Every employee is login to this his domain user with password with the domain name, right? So username and password, and this username is where it's stored. It is stored in Active Directory. How that is in going to be designed that Active Directory? In the Active Directory we have that is in terminology, some terminology called as a forest, called as a domain, called as a site, called as a domain controller. These four infrastructure, right, which is terminology. So it is going to be designed like this, right? MS Paint. Okay, you just heard about PAM is no, PAM is not Microsoft. It is a privilege. You can say CyberArk, right? CyberArk, that is a privilege access management. Is a separate product, not for Microsoft. PAM is comes under for what? It's a CyberArk. You might have heard about CyberArk password, something you heard about, where your all the passwords should be integrated, your administrator password integrated into CyberArk centrally, right? And you will organization is not allowed to save the password in one of the notepad and something, right? And all the domain controller servers, right? Servers, every password, right? So every password be centralized. Okay, give me a minute, guys, 1 minute. Sorry guys, I'm back. Okay, so first most important, I would recommend to I would be going to explain you, don't worry for that reason. If people are new to this environment or who has experience on this Azure, that's fine, but goal is to this course has to be completed, and you are spending time, you are spending lot of things on this, spending fees, spending time, but benefit would be utilize it, and it should be benefit for you to, you would be getting the change a job and get the job. That guarantee I can give you. Means what? That thoroughly you need to understand that it is not just for your completing the course. You should feel that, okay, after completion of this course, what would be my career? You can strongly, you can confidently update in your profile, say that, okay, and I am a authorized identity access management. You need to plan for the certification for the SC-300. I would help you later part. I am a certified for the SC-300. I'm a certified for the AZ-104, right? And I'm a certified for the GCP as well. So why I'm telling you this, coming days, right, currently situation is all looking into the security concern, security point of view, rather infrastructure. So you start now, right, this career, guarantee I will give you for upcoming days, right, where you have also many people have heard about, right, for infrastructure, completely infrastructure moving to the cloud, right? And once the cloud is moved out, and how we need to handle it. And you have seen that is in, as I said, right, there is one of the technologies required along with this, your certification, whatever your career point of view, I would say overall you would be a cloud and security, cloud security. But you should plan, you should thoroughly understand, you should put a little more effort to understanding the concept. You have to add on for your skill PowerShell. Trust me, whatever existing knowledge you have, which is Active Directory, on-prem Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, which is certified SC-300 as well as Azure 500, and these certification, this course, you have learned it. You can spend a minimum 3 to 4 months and just learn for the PowerShell, for the additional support for the automation, right? You see the difference within 6 year or 7 year, or even though you have a less than 10 years of experience, this technical skills would reach more than 20 lakh package. Is currently running very demand skill needed, and people are ready to pay whatever you demanding based on the current package. And that's it. Only you need to put little more effort to understand that thoroughly. It is just not for just not for that is in sake of completing uh, training, right? It is not, there's no point. And also, this training you completed, you have to practice it. Practice is the most important, and you need to set your mind, I have to change my job and I have to be this platform. Then complete the course, plan for the certification, then you can update your content, whatever you learned from the profile, upload that profile to the job portal and reference whoever you knows the things. Okay, so now you can plan for all aspect, right? This is the main goal, right? I would suggest, so first most important, plan for Active Directory, and I would explain you first 3 classes. First 3 class I would explain you for the very basic, is a bonus for you, on-prem Active Directory, on-prem AD, and basic of Azure. Then we will start with the actual class for the SC-300, right? It will be very much needed, and connectivity. So, and all the course content would be covering of as per the syllabus of the Microsoft, right? And that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, open for you. And any generic anything, feel free to ask, don't hesitate anyone, right? Because this is for yours only. Anyone has any question? You can unmute yourself and speak. I would be sharing a recorded, don't worry. And every class we will be going to record, and notepad would be giving you, like, so I would be teaching like this. The other classes I'm taking for AZ 104. If you see this class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll be discussing for that is in what are the topic we are discussed for the previous class, right? And and we will be having for the recap classes first what we have discussed, right? and then this notepad will help you to what are the overall summary, right? This is how, it is just, I'm sure this training would help you. Okay, you see this recap and what topic we discussed, and then what topic we are going to talk about, and then we'll be discussing. The my goal is ultimate. You should understand that thoroughly the concept. Okay, that's just, it should be feeling that is a difference. That's a recommendation, and you need to understand the every topic clearly. It's just not for the over the head, right? So, anyone has any question? What course? It is SC-300, sir. Vinay. Okay, fees and all. Please try to, okay, fees and timing. Please try to contact Mr. Amar. Sorry, Amit. Okay, so his number is, I will just share his number. Please try to contact him, and he will help you to, provide the detail for. Six 2806. So please contact him for the more detail. Okay, 9540662806. I hope you understood for the overview of what we are trying to explaining, what benefit we are getting, and whom this course would be needed, and what are the prerequisites would be needed, and how that career growth it would be going to happening. And technically, we would be talking about one by one all the topics with the first three classes: on-prem AD, basic Azure, and SC-300. Yeah, no problem. So you can start with directly, but you can, I'll explain it for, I don't know your name, Vivo V2334. So don't go with, yeah, you can try with Azer 900, Azer 104, but once you know the SC-300, it would be having knowledge, but I recommend that Azer 104 is the best. Okay. All right. So if no question, okay, Sagar, yeah, thanks, Sagar, no problem. Anyone has any questions? No problem. So thank you so much for today's, attending the classes, and yeah, please contact Amit, and he will help you to, providing the timing and fees details. And let's meet up the next week. Happy Dasara for everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.